Hi friends, happy Thursday. I'm a day off. I feel like it's Wednesday still because we didn't have school on Monday. I'm tired today, very tired. I don't see how. Well, I do see how, but I'm tired. Hey Tammy. All right, so now that I have one friend on here, I have 2 days of grateful because yesterday was crazy busy and we did not get it done. And then I have today's grateful. So yesterday's grateful is perspective. So I'm grateful for perspective. So I'll tell you a little story. We went to Jamaica this summer. Our kids had never been to Jamaica. And John and I are sitting, let me just paint a little picture for you. This was the same place we had the fun cruise that we went on. So we're at this really pretty resort, and we had been upgraded to like this diamond room or whatever, the diamond part of the resort. And it was really pretty, and it was a great resort. But it was part of the package or whatever. It wasn't like we chose that. It was just like the lady who helped us was just like, oh yeah, let's do that. I was like, okay, cool. So it comes with a butler and all kinds of fun stuff. It was a fun little place. And we had a little swim up pool that it was right outside your door. And excuse me. So we were sitting there the very first night, and John and I were not complaining, but kind of complaining that the place was like, we didn't see the butler the first night. So when we got there, it was kind of a late afternoon, and then we went to dinner and unpacked our stuff, and we were just exhausted from flying all day and all that. And, getting there and getting shuffled around, it was like an hour and a half drive from the airport. And so we were kind of just like, not complaining, but complaining, in a way. And so we're sitting there and we're like, oh, this place is like, the outside patio is dirty. I guess they just didn't clean it very well. There were ants on it because somebody had left food or whatever. And then all my friends just left me. Apparently don't care what I'm talking about. And then we were kind of complaining about, I don't know, just little things, because it wasn't what we were used to. We'd never been to Jamaica. We had never been through their airport. We always go to Mexico, or we've been to other places, but never there. And so, hey, Miss Edie. And so finally I was sitting there later that day and I was like, we need to quit complaining. We're sitting in this beautiful resort, and yes, it may not be what we're used to, but whatever, like it's great. And so I said, we need to gain some perspective on the situation. And then we did it again with this beach house that we went to. We were like, oh, it's not as clean as we wanted, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hold up, we need to quit complaining. And we weren't really complaining. It was just venting, kind of like things that we weren't used to. And so I was like, you know what? We need to quit doing that. And then, just in general in life, like we ended up enjoying both of the trips. That was kind of the perspective that we needed, was we had a ball on both trips. It was a great trip. We had so much fun, but it was almost like we needed to check our head and go, you're being ridiculous. Like, just because it's not home doesn't mean it's not good. So, and I tell my girls all the time about, maybe you see someone on the playground or you see someone in person, like not necessarily a friend, but someone maybe you'd like to talk to. And your thought is maybe they're not approachable because they're quiet or they're shy or they don't know if they should come talk to you or whatever. And so your perspective is this, whatever you're thinking, and their perspective is, I really just don't want to talk to that person because like that's the cool kid, or that's the, that group of friends is such a good group of friends or whatever. And so, sometimes just your perspective of something or changing your perspective of something changes the whole situation, if that makes sense. It can make you have more fun. It can make you enjoy someone. Maybe it's a friend that you end up being best friends with, but at the time you don't approach that friend or whatever the case may be. So I'm grateful for perspective, because our perspective as we've gotten older has changed. And sometimes what we least expect is not exactly what turns out to be, like in our vacation situation. And so that was yesterday's. And then today's is some of my friends that are on here or were on here are teachers. I'm grateful for teachers because without teachers, okay, first of all, we have never had a bad teacher. We have loved every teacher we've ever had. Every teacher we've ever had has been adorable to our kids, wonderful to our kids. Hold on, it tells me I have a low battery. But I'm exhausted and I'm not even teaching kids today. I just am tired from getting up and having to, have a whole different schedule. I can't imagine having to be on all day, all the time for, 8 or 9 hours when really you're tired. Or like my sweet friend who has a broken foot and is hobbling around on her crutches or whatever. And then another teacher in our school that can't even come because he hurt his knee. And so I'm just grateful for all my teacher friends, all of our principal friends. I made a point to tell our principal today that carpool was going great. She didn't feel like it, but I only sat in carpool for like 6 minutes at my youngest daughter's school, which is great. I mean, that's perfect. I was expecting to sit there a whole lot longer. Now, I sit in Mackenzie's a whole lot longer only because we get there so much earlier to kind of get through it. But, they have rallied. We have a whole new school situation with Mackenzie's school. And thank you. I don't know about it some days. I'm dragging. I don't know how y'all are not. I'm like truly tired. It could just be the weather too. Like I've had a headache for a couple days. And so anyway, but it makes me appreciate all of you who truly come to get our kids out of the car with a smile on your face. Never once do you make them feel like you're exhausted or you have a headache or whatever. Like both of my kids have gotten in the car and had a great first couple days and love their teachers so far. Oh yeah. That's what she's having to do, Stacy, is wear a boot, and it's terrible. Yeah, you should be on ice on the sofa, Edie. I mean, my kids are even exhausted, but not for 1 second have they felt like their teachers are overwhelmed or tired or just ready to go home, honestly, because you are crashing when you get home. They've just had really good days. And, you see everybody at carpool and you walk through the school and everybody is so pleasant and ready to start the year, knowing that really you just want summer to be a week longer. Or maybe 2 weeks, who knows, whatever. We were ready for it. We're glad that it came. It was a fast summer, but it was a fun summer. But not only that, like even coaches, typically we would go to gymnastics right after school started, and we aren't doing it this year, but typically we would go right after. And those coaches, same way, they are on it. They are smiling. They are ready to see those kids after some of them working full-time jobs all day. And, the older you get, sometimes you just don't want to have to be on. You don't want to have to smile for everybody who walks in, especially kids. Sometimes you just don't want to, and y'all do every day, all the time. And like I said, in carpool today, it was a little bit of a mess at some of the schools, but everybody is still smiling at the end of the day and just making it a good situation. And so for that, I'm grateful because we're fortunate enough that our kids are good learners. They're easy learners. They better be good kids at school. I think they are, but they just enjoy school. We were just talking about that they never ever at the very last day of school, I'm like, please stay home. Please don't want to go so we don't have to get up early. And they're like, no, we don't. We want to go see our friends. We want to finish out school. And I'm happy for that. That makes me happy because that says a whole lot about the environment that they're in. If they didn't love it, then they would be like, no, I'm done. Let's go home. And so I'm super grateful for all of you. So every one of my teacher friends, every one of my coach friends, everybody who has to be on for other people's students, other people's children, well, other people's students, you know what I mean, other people's children all day long, and teach them and educate them and pour into them when you don't necessarily have to. You're there to teach. You don't have to pour your heart into them, and you do anyway. So I'm grateful for all of you. So that's it today. Perspective and teachers. And sometimes teachers can change your perspective. So there you go. All right. I'm going to cook dinner. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Oh yeah. Hold on, Stacy. Yeah, it's awful. Yes, I love the bucket book. You said it the other day, Edie, and I love it. Yeah, you're welcome. Have an awesome Friday. We made it almost, well, technically, y'all made it to Friday, and hopefully it's a good day, but my kids are loving it so far. And we didn't have a lot of homework tonight, which is the icing on the cake. Kenzie has been up late the last 2 nights, and so tonight's a good night. So anyway, go rest up, teachers. See y'all tomorrow.